everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I am Caitlin, and if you are new here, I post videos on here about Disney and lifestyle-y kind of stuff, more so Disney but a little bit of lifestyle. If you are new, make sure to subscribe so you can watch more of my videos, and if you're a returning subscriber, then hello, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back here and watching my videos. It means so much to me. Today I'm going to be doing my Pop Century resort review. I did a Fort Wilderness review I think last month, and a ton of people requested that I do also a Pop Century resort review. So here it is. So we stayed at Pop Century last year, so September 2018, between September 2nd to the 13th. We stayed for our honeymoon, so it was a longer trip. We stayed for almost 2 weeks, and we decided to stay at a value resort while we were on our honeymoon because we wanted to experience more of the cuisine options that were there. So we ended up getting the larger dining plan versus staying at a nicer hotel. I'm going to kind of go through it the same way that I did my Fort Wilderness resort review, which is just going over the pros and the cons of the resort, and then any other things that come to mind I'll talk about. So starting off with the pros, I would say that the best thing is that it is inexpensive while you are still staying on property. Everybody knows, or I guess if you don't know, if you stay on Disney property, like there are just a ton of benefits that you get. You get to book your fast passes sooner, you get to book your dining pass, like your dining sooner and for your whole trip. You get free transportation throughout the parks. You get early morning, or not early morning magic, you get extra magic hours at before and after for parks. So it's just like an awesome thing to stay on site. So you get a ton of perks from staying on site, and normally to stay on site it costs a lot of money, and I'm not saying that this is cheap by any means to stay on site at Pop Century, but it is on the less expensive side. I think right now the going rate is like $110 a night, $115 maybe. I could be wrong. I believe that's around what it is. I know you can get it a little bit lower for that in like the off seasons, and it's gonna be a little bit higher than that during peak seasons. But yeah, so it's a great opportunity to stay there if you have a smaller budget but you still want to stay on Disney property to get all the benefits. That is just like an awesome thing. Another pro would be that the renovated rooms have officially been throughout the resort. I think they completed those last year, so every single room that is at Pop Century is renovated. You no longer have to request a renovated room. They are all going to be renovated. If I have any pictures, I'll insert them here. Basically, when you walk in, it's just really white. Everything's like very whitewashed. They have like laminate flooring, so it just looks very clean. They've changed the bathroom so that there's like a beautiful bathroom mirror now, and it's like very big. And then the shower is all glass. I think it's glass. Maybe it's not glass, maybe it's like plexiglass. But it's like there's no more shower curtain. It's just very clean and it looks very modern and it's really nice. But there's still like a little bit of touches of Disney because they have like the Mickeys above the bed. But yeah, so we did stay in a king size room. So we only actually had one bed in the room. But if you were to stay in one of the normal rooms, it's one queen size bed, and then the second queen size bed actually folds down so that there can be two queen size beds, or you can put it up and then it'll be like a little table area. Another pro is that this value resort is actually large enough and it has enough people staying there that it only has one bus stop. So this meaning that when you're at the parks, it's only one resort per bus stop. So you're only picking up Pop Century guests and they're only dropping off at Pop Century. If you're staying at the All-Stars, I believe, you have to pick up for all three All-Star resorts, and then I don't know what order it goes in, but they basically drop you off in order of the resorts. So if you were staying at like the last drop off, you would have to wait till the end of obviously the trip to get dropped off. So I feel like that's just a pro because you know that when you get on the bus, you are getting on the bus to go home. Another pro would be their food court. Like they have a really good food court. It's very basic. They have just like the basic things that you need if you want to get a breakfast or lunch or dinner, snack options, like it's all there. So if like we ate at the food court, I think one morning for breakfast because we decided to sleep in. We ate at the food court the first day we got there because we were waiting for our room to be ready, and then also on the last day when we were waiting to leave. It's just like a good option to have while you're there to eat. And the food was really good. I never complained once about the food while we were at the food court, so I really liked that. Their pool, I would consider it a pro, meaning that it's a pool, it's there. We only actually stayed in the main pool, which is called the Hippy Dippy pool. Every time we went or every time we walked by, the pool like was not busy at all. I don't know if that was a fluke because we were there in September or what, but there was definitely just not like a ton of people, which was really nice. And it's a good size pool, so I would give it a thumbs up. For theming also, it really stuck to the theme. It's not over the top Disney because it is Pop Century. It's more focused on like milestones of the ages. Does that make sense? I don't know. Basically, it's just themed towards each of the different centuries rather than themed towards specifically Disney. There are a couple Disney spots in Pop Century. Oh my gosh, I make no sense. There's a couple different like Disney touches to it, obviously, but it's not over the top Disney. Which, I mean, that could be a pro or a con for somebody, but it did stick to the theme of Pop Century. So those are my pros. Moving on to the cons. It is a huge resort. It is very big, and there is only one bus stop. So the bus stop is at the front of the resort, or the middle of the resort, I guess, and which is right by like the gift shop and the front desk, and like the main pool is all in the food court, is all in that area, which is where the bus stops are, and there is only one. For the moderate resorts, I know there's like a couple scattered throughout the resort, so you don't have to like always walk to the front of the resort. This one you have to walk to the front of the resort. So we were lucky and we got upgraded when we got there to a preferred room. So we were in a king size bed, like I said, and then we also were in the first building. So it was like we literally could walk out of our room around the corner and we would see the bus stop. We were just like really lucky that it was that close. But I can imagine if you were at the far ends of that resort going to the bus stop, it would probably, I don't know, be like a 10-minute walk to get there. I don't know if I'm exaggerating or not, but it definitely is a pretty big resort. So I feel like that would be a con in that sense. Especially like at the end of a park day, like when you are so freaking tired, you do not want to walk 10 minutes back to your resort or back to your room. So the lines waiting for buses were always so long. Like it was crazy. There were times that we would wait at the Magic Kingdom and 3 buses would go past and we still wouldn't get on a bus. That's one thing to keep in mind if you're leaving at peak times of when other people will be leaving. You definitely will be waiting for a bus. So hang out in the park for a little bit longer if you can, or leave a little bit earlier. I know that sucks, but we ended up using Uber way more than we anticipated on using it, just because we were so tired some nights and we're like, we just want to get home. We don't want to sit and wait here for another hour before we can get on a bus. Another thing about the bus stop is that it was always the furthest one away from the park. So if you've been to Disney or if you haven't been to Disney, basically outside of each of the parks, there's a row of bus stops, and I think it's like 1 to 27 or something bus stops, something around there. The way that it works is that when you're approaching the bus stop, there is a big like sign and it says what bus stop number is each of the different resorts. When you get there, every single time, Pop Century was literally the last on the bus stop list, so we always had to walk the furthest away from the park to get to the actual bus stop. So that was a pain in the butt, especially again at the end of the night and your feet are tired. It's just like not fun. And then the last con that I would say would just be that it's furthest away from Magic Kingdom. So if Magic Kingdom is a must for you, then this is definitely like, the Magic Kingdom is the furthest park away from Pop Century, but it's not that far. I think it was like maybe a 15-minute drive on the bus to get to Magic Kingdom, so it's really not that bad. I'm just throwing it in there because some people do want the proximity to different parks. I think Pop Century is technically in the Animal Kingdom resort area, but it's also like incredibly close to Hollywood Studios. Like I think Hollywood Studios is maybe a 5-minute bus ride. So it says that it's far away, but it's really not that bad. so that is my review for Pop Century. Overall, like, it's a great resort to stay at. I would 100% stay there again. I loved it. Again, it's one of those resorts where it's beautiful and it really, like, it's a great resort. But at the end of the day, if you're like myself or Austin, it's just a bed to sleep in at the end of the night. So we really did not spend that much time there. We did go back a couple times just to like nap, but again, it's just a bed. Like, it's just a place to stay for the night. So if you really don't care about staying at your resort for multiple times in your trip, or if you know, you don't really care about having a extremely luxurious pool where you have a slide and it's big and it's like there's a splash pad or whatever. If you really don't care about that stuff, I would say go for it. It's a great resort for just hanging out. Oh my gosh, I just flicked that in my face. It is a great resort for just like hanging out in and just kind of having that spot where you're still close to the parks and you're getting all the perks of staying on Disney property while paying a fraction of the price of some of the much more expensive resorts. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want more of these reviews, I will be happy to do them in the future. The only other place I've stayed at is Coronado Springs, and I can do a review on that one. It's just that that was like a long time ago, so there's a lot of stuff that has changed to that resort. But if you want me to do a review on my time staying there, I will be happy to do that. I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye!